Hello and welcome to Deccan Herald newsroom. Dramatic scenes on the streets of Calcutta yesterday, where Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee stormed into the office of I-PAC, the political consultancy firm which manages the account of Trinamool Congress, the ruling party in West Bengal. She has alleged that the ED raid, the Enforcement Directorate raid on the office, is basically being done to steal data, the election data, just ahead of the elections. This has now got into a full-blown political war between the Trinamool Congress and the BJP. It has spilled over to New Delhi this morning, where Trinamool Congress MPs, they staged a protest outside the house of Union Home Minister Anup Majhi. Again, very powerful scenes there, where the MPs were sitting on a dharna and they were later detained by the police. To discuss all that and the politics around this entire episode, I am being joined in today by Amrita Madhukalia, who covers the BJP for us, for Deccan Herald in Delhi, and Shemin Joy, who covers both the Home Ministry and the opposition parties. I'll start with the Shemin first. Shemin, this morning I think the Trinamool Congress had decided, apart from Calcutta protest, which Mamata Banerjee led in the afternoon, that they're going to take the battle to Delhi, and the entire protest in the morning was probably designed in a way that they wanted to send a strong message, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, like say, Sumit, it's interesting to note that Aam Aadmi Party and Trinamool Congress, believe in theatrics when it comes to protest and all. When I say theatrics, I am not talking in a negative sense. They want to send across a message, so they don't want to keep it restricted to Bengal. I mean, even their protest in Delhi is related to Bengal elections, kind of narrative they want to build there. So in that context, 8 MPs, including Directorate Kolkata, the Rajya Sabha floor leader, and the Lok Sabha deputy floor leader, Shadabdi Roy, among others, Mahu Moitra, Saket Gokhale and others came. At around 8:40 a.m., they went to Kartavya Bhavan, the new office of Ministry of Home Affairs. They started to they tried to make their way inside. They entered the premises just over, but the security officials, then they pushed them out and locked the gates. Then they sat there for almost 1.5 hours for a protest before being detained by Delhi police, who took them to Parliament Street police station. At around 3:45 they were released. But for Trinamool, this kind of protest is not unknown. This is not the first time that this kind of a high-profile protest.
No, but that's a trademark Mamata Banerjee, borrowed straight out of what the early opponents would have called the theatrics around the politics that she is about. But Amrita, BJP's battle in Bengal, it's a very crucial one, considering that they have tried to unseat Mamata Banerjee for the last 2 or 3 occasions and they have failed. On all the occasions, they have tried their best. It has always been a very high decibel election campaign. And on all occasions, we have seen Mamata Banerjee use a very subtle sub-regional nationalism against the BJP, and she succeeded also. This time around, on this particular issue, if again she's trying to make it Mamata versus Modi, a local Bengali party versus the outsiders, how does BJP see it this time around? I mean, this sort of a confrontation, does it suit the BJP politically?
I think the BJP, was looking at a larger voter share in the last election, and this time it wants to go all guns blazing. But somewhere you feel, in the way the BJP is shaping up the campaign, which obviously it wants to put all of it into the game, you see that somewhere they're also walking into Mamata's trap. I mean, if you look at the issue of the SIR voter list and the exclusions of that list, of Amartya Sen being not part of that list, you see that somewhere you're walking into that trap of subnationalism. But again, one has to understand that BJP, for the BJP, Bengal is a very crucial election, considering that this spate of elections, you have Tamil Nadu, you have Kerala. These are states where the BJP is yet to make a bigger mark. So Bengal is very important for them, and I think somewhere that need to get to Bengal is also leading them to do a certain amount of things where it might not be conducive for the BJP.
But tell me, in this entire campaign, if you were to look, there's one qualitative difference which I can perceive, is that unlike the last time where BJP leaders from Delhi would go and campaign. They were very vocal. Though the campaign is being managed by Delhi leaders, Amit Shah obviously is in charge. Then there is Bhupendra Yadav, who is there almost every weekend there. Then I guess a couple of leaders from the RSS who are on deputation to the BJP. I think Mr. Bansal is there. But they're not doing the talking. This time I think the talking is entirely being done by the local leaders, whereas the management is certainly on the part of the central leadership, isn't it? I mean, there seems to be that difference.
I think somewhere if you're localizing the fight, and I think if you're localizing the fight, it makes it easier, because it is very difficult to get to the Bengali voter and then try to win them on a Modi versus Mamata game, because at the end of the day, the Bengal pride sort of comes to the surface, and that's not something that BJP is very well versed with. One has to also understand the fact that the BJP does not have too many great leaders in Bengal. So you have to deal with...
In fact, no other party has the leader of Mamata's stature. Yeah.
So I think there somewhere they have to make do with what they have. I think for them, I think they feel that, I think the meeting that Amit Shah had...
But who seems to be, the person? See, last time BJP had bet big on Mukul Roy.
This time
I mean, they are primarily imports from the TMC. So this time around, who is the person who is... I mean, the guy who is probably managing the stuff in Bengal.
The last meeting that the Home Minister had in Bengal, which was I think in the later half of December, just before the year ended, he had a spate of meetings to understand what's happening in how Bengal is shaping up for the party. And I think one of the bigger takeaways of one of his key meetings was that Dilip Ghosh is going to be given a far bigger role than he has been, projected in the last few... Subhendu. There was no conversation on Subhendu, but all we understood was that once he came out of the room, I think the idea that Dilip Ghosh is going to be given a very big role. I think they've also understood that in front of Dilip Ghosh or Subhendu Adhikari, Shramik Bhattacharya is a smaller fry, and he is there to sort of see them through the intensive months of the campaign. But I think the bigger call is going to be taken by someone like a Ghosh, to make sure that the party...
One point I want to make is that BJP, I think, has learned from the
mistakes.
2021 experience when this Delhi-centric campaign or Delhi-dominated campaign. So the Bengali pride was targeted or attacked, and that was the narrative. And Dilip Ghosh thing, like Amrita said, I would add one thing. Subhendu is an imported leader.
Yeah.
There's a lot of resentment also, if I'm right, in the BJP ranks, or the so-called original BJP ranks. Even though
Shramik, I think, was the RSS choice for the state president. I mean, the original RSS guy. Original. Yeah. Shamin, if you look at the TMC campaign in Bengal this time around, obviously Mamata Banerjee is the main face. But in this entire SIR exercise, what is the assessment of TMC? I mean, though they are campaigning, they're saying that this is being done to systematically, alleging that this is being systematically targeted with a political intent. But how do they see this entire exercise? Because ultimately, TMC also has an election machinery, well-placed election machinery on the ground.
Exactly. I mean, you see, the entire, the BLS, the booth level agents of Trinamool Congress were very active on the ground, because it was, monitored from the top, from I-PAC Banerjee's level and all. And second thing, when that kind of an organizational work was happening, they were also putting pressure on the election commission. See, election commission has to issue a number of revisions in the process for Bengal. Yesterday only they allowed, there were 3 notifications which allowed people who are abroad for temporarily, they don't need to come for the hearing. They can depute one of the relatives with proper documents and all. Same is the case with government officials who are outside. See, they are also milking these instances of omission of names or the notices issued to Amartya Sen, the Nobel laureate. Then you have the case of Mohammad Shami, the cricketer. So they are using all these things to, I won't say discredit, but put pressure on the election commission.
Okay, but today there was supposed to be a hearing in the Calcutta High Court regarding a complaint filed by the Enforcement Directorate against the Chief Minister, saying that she tried to interfere in the entire probe when the raid was going on, though the hearing could not take place because the courtroom apparently was overcrowded, and some of the lawyers who were representing various parties and petitioners could not reach. One last question, Shamin, before we wind up. Very short answer. What is it that ED is alleging? And what is the IPAC's role in TMC's campaign is concerned? And what is it that ED is alleging as far as this particular raid or intervention is concerned?
This raid is related to a 2020 election and ED case filed in a call smuggling case. It was based on a CBI FIR. I'll just read out from the press release issued by the. So this was in 2020 November. This particular case happened, and the case says that the proceedings of this call smuggling had facilitated transactions of tens of crores of rupees to IPAC.
So coal
IPAC
smuggling, where did this coal smuggling happen?
It happened in Bengal.
Bengal, okay.
Bengal.
So the allegation is that some of the proceeds of that illegal coal smuggling went to the IPAC,
which is the consultant of political consultant of Trinamool Congress. So that is why Mamata went to IPAC offices. So there was a lot of drama yesterday. Mamata went there, collected, took away,
alleging that the data is being stolen.
Yeah. So that's the basic. It's a 5-year-old case.
Okay. Thank you, Shamin. Thank you, Amrita, for speaking to us. That's all we have in this edition of Deccan Herald Newsroom. Good night.